Hello, and welcome back to the Gee Squad. This is our second episode here with these three lovely ladies. Thank you for listening. This is a space where we've created for women to speak about life, all the hats that we wear, and how they coincide with us getting on the mats every day, or every other day, or twice a week, or whatever you get on the mats for. Today's topic is physical and mental benefits of jiu-jitsu. And with that, how it parallels in your life. For me personally, I'll just start off with physical because it's actually a lot easier, even though it's the hardest thing. Physical, you realize your limits. You realize what you can and cannot do when you try to do it. And we're all there every day, all the days, especially when professor decides to show us some crazy ninja move. For me, calisthenics, I think I know for a fact from previous sport that I was in throughout my life, calisthenics are by far the best exercise that you can do for yourself. It is using your own body with strength and endurance, and that's exactly what this is. We're not using props. Except for each other's bodies. Which is big prop. Big prop. So you kind of have to get out of your own way, which is, you against the mats, basically. Your mental becomes your physical for me.
Definitely.
Yeah, your 100%. Mental, you get on the mats with yourself. It's just you and you. And all the things from your days, just like we talked about in the last episode, the kids, the laundry, the husband, the work, you can't think about that stuff. You're going to get smashed. And you're going to lose. You are going to lose. So when you get on the mats and you just think about what you're being taught and practicing that technique, or rolling, survival of the fittest at that point, you become mentally exhausted by default and physically exhausted. But that mental becoming a physical, for me, just one example is, I'm not a small girl. So in the very beginning, when I was before my first stripe, during my first stripe, all the first stripes of my weight belt, I was I'd get, this crazy technique and I'd just look at professor and I'd be like, I can't. And I've never heard those words out of my mouth before. And it was hard and it was frustrating. And then, of course, I would want to quit that day. And then fast forward, practicing, being diligent, going back to the gym, getting back on the mats, that can't was like, holy crap, I just did that, And so then you have this little mental victory because you did the physical thing, So it's just crazy how those two are a web of joy, fear, all the things. I think that between mental and physical, the evolution, it waxes and wanes every single time you get on the mats.
It's crazy how you're talking about that. I can't because we talk about it with the kids, right? We say hey guys, you can't be brick brain. Brick brain says I can. And we're like, we as adults preach it. No, you say I can't do it yet, right. Right? And we talk about it all the time, but then it sneaks in our brains. And as adults, we say it, I can't do that one. It's too hard. And then we catch it. We're like, oh, this is what we tell the kids. Dude, you can't think like that, Yeah. But it happens so often. It's sneaky. Right. It's so sneaky. But so important to add that yet moment. Oh, I can't do this yet, Yeah. But we have to remind ourselves even more.
Entirely. Yeah. I never had to remind myself that I was, and not being as fit as I always was, that you can't do that to yourself either. No, I'm not 27 anymore. No, you cannot bounce a quarter off my tail anymore. It is just a fact. If I get back there, maybe, but right now this is where I'm at. I need to accept it. I need to move forward with what I can do and be diligent about continuing to do it, because then eventually you're going to be like, I did that, oh my gosh. I too will slide down your back one day. Okay, soon enough. What about you, Natty?
Similar. I also think that the physical and the mental kind of, they come together. And so for me, I'm a smaller girl, right? But I think it's helped a lot with body image or body dysmorphia in a sense, kind of working out. I've I've been working out for a long time, and I felt like that helped me a lot physically, realizing like, okay, this is my body. I didn't want to strive for perfection anymore, you know, that you get as a kid and you're like, I want to look like this supermodel, you know, like, no, finally working out, I was like, I want to just be strong. But jujitsu kind of helped me physically and mentally in that sense, because it made me realize like there's pros and cons to all sizes. And it like solidified that. So I no longer absolutely do not strive for the perfection. I just want to be stronger and healthier and feel better. So I feel more like an athlete now. And I treat my body more like an athlete, which is definitely a result of jujitsu, because I definitely get on there and I'm like, I want to be strong enough to do this, you know, like I want to get this move, and I know I need to like work my muscles a little bit differently, working all these muscles. So physically it's helped me accept like, hey, if you're smaller, you have this advantage. You can do these like tiny little moves and get in there, you know? And if you're bigger, you can like get on top and control this. Like it's just a different game. And it's made me realize and help me in that sense, like, to be okay with your body and to be proud of it. You know, it can do these things. So it's kind of brought this like sense of peace and acceptance and pride in whatever body type we have.
Yeah.
And so it's really helped with that for me, at least. So I've noticed it, and it helps with the kids too, and everybody. It's just...
Yeah, it's you know, always everybody's saying like the jiu-jitsu is the sport that the small can beat the big one,
Right.
Because of that, you know, there's some moves that more for the small, and then what they can do, and the big one's gonna be on top, and then you know, it's easy for the small one maybe to escape because they can go around,
maneuver in different ways.
So
You know,
it's interesting.
Yeah, there's a chance for everybody.
Yeah, when
Yes.
we had that clinic last year with that professor that came from Brazil, he was a monster. He was like a football player.
yeah,
Yeah,
he was,
yeah.
And
he
he
was
was
big
wrapping
guy.
everyone in a bow.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow.
Yeah.
In such
There's
like a delicate way too. It's
Yeah.
so crazy because they
a gentle
do
art.
Exactly. Jiu-jitsu is, you know, in layman's it means like the gentle art. Basically, I think of subduing your opponent in a certain way, a gentle way. I think it's great, but you wouldn't expect it from someone his size.
Right.
You really wouldn't. It's kind of like my boyfriend, who also, he's like kind of like a bigger, you know, like he's kind of like he's like a teddy bear. He's like a bigger
bulldog
grizzly kind of
teddy
guy.
bear.
Yeah. Yeah.
Po.
But he's the same way. He's very
Yeah.
unassuming, you know, and when you roll with them, you're like, man, I can probably, you know, maybe I'll have a chance if I can get in here and do this, or maybe they won't move as fast as I will or as easily, or I'm more coordinated. But you can't think that way when you're doing jiu-jitsu, because everybody, you really don't know.
No, they
You
have a
don't know.
smoother way.
They
I
do.
kept saying that to him the first time I rolled
Yes.
with him. I was like, ooh, suave, suave.
100%.
Yeah.
He's going here, but he's really messing with something over here. It's
Yeah.
like just even the mind game, the level of it is insane. That's where I really understand the whole chess.
Yeah.
Jiu-jitsu is very much like a chess game. It's just, it's crazy. It's crazy.
I remember visiting that one gym that one time I came back, and I was like, that brown belt was like so much shorter than me, tiny. And I'm like, and he threw me over or whatever. Cool.
Oh, yeah.
But then he threw my husband and like had him up in an air like a little puppet. I was
Yeah.
like, I want to do that, you know? So yeah,
Now
like
she does it
size-
before breakfast.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. It's nice. It's a really nice sport for everyone in that sense. So it's helped out for sure.
Yeah.
What about you, Mika?
Well,
Thank
Mika,
you,
you
Mika.
want to go? You
Yeah.
want me to go? You go.
Sure.
I went faster last time.
Yeah, I was. It was very difficult for me to think write about that, you know, because I have so many things to say about jiu-jitsu, you know, because it's I think a sport that you have to grow physically and mentally together. I think you said that, and it's perfect because it's interesting. It's a sport that you have, you know, you gotta grow the physically, the mentally, and the technical together. You know, because I mean, there's what I always think. So you can be very good technical, but afraid. You know, I'm afraid to fall.
In your head.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But I can be technical, but don't have the strength.
Yes.
You know,
Right.
or I can be strong, but I can control my emotions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not.
Yeah.
Don't you think?
Yeah. You need the
Yeah.
three for
So
sure.
I always like, it's just, and I always, when I'm there, I'm always like, think about that. You know, I always like, I gotta grow those things together. You know, I gotta be
Yes.
little better every day in those things together. So the physical benefits, I think one of the biggest one for me is maybe you guys gonna have to correct in English. Corporal awareness.
Body awareness.
Body awareness.
Yes.
I think is the biggest one because you
Yes.
learn
Yeah.
around balance. You know how to balance. It's like a lot about balance and sweeps and everything like that. For me, it's amazing.
And
you
how
know?
to protect your
When I-
opponent too,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Like, and yourself.
Exactly.
Like
Yeah.
when you just smash the heck out of someone, you're gonna hurt them. That's not fair.
Yeah. Also, capacity to defend yourself. You know, I think
Yes.
is amazing. Like, you know, a few things happen. I was like, oh, don't worry. You know, maybe I can defend myself. Not that I, expect to do that, but I always think about that. You know, when I go to the
100%.
classes, the self-defense class and things like that, I was like, damn, I can,
You have a shot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm not, no one. I
helpless
can
person,
defend myself,
you
And another thing that's very important, I think, physical, is how to react to different events now. You know,
Yes.
like something talk to me, and I'm like, I'm ready, not to beat anyone, but like I know I can, be there and I don't know, defend myself or talk to someone in a different way because I have this background.
Yes.
I
Yeah.
always think about that now.
That's a
It's not
very
crazy.
good point because I never understood that until now also. But my husband, who hockey for his whole life, like he walks out wanting to fight. Like he's a fighter.
Ready. Yeah.
So like I remember specifically I said to him one time something about, oh, what if this happened in public? He's like, Amanda, I'm always ready. I'm always ready.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
ready to rock. And I
Really?
never understood. Because now I understand. Because now I'm like, okay, I'm ready. It's
happening.
I think it's happened.
It's not that I'm ready to fight. It's just
different awareness.
it's my body and mentally like oh I can
You have the
I don't
tools
know.
accessible if you
exactly
need them.
Yeah.
and I think
nice.
this is just
Before you didn't have
physically it's awesome. I always been like that a little bit, like working out or things like that. So but that definitely grow like a lot for me.
I think that has to do with facing adversity. Like, and we face a challenge every time we get on the mats, whether it's you're learning a technique or you're going to roll. You
Yeah.
face that challenge and you have no choice. So then I feel like the next day, anything that comes your way, that much easier.
Yeah.
Like you were almost
Yeah.
choked out. Your limbs were almost broken. Or you handled that and you got past it.
Right.
It's that getting past it. And then I think that every day we do that, we just get stronger. And
Right.
then anything that comes our way, like
Physically
work,
and mentally.
school,
Yeah.
all the
Yeah,
stuff.
and you know what? Sometimes we don't. Like, sometimes I haven't. Like, recently, when I got back on the mats after being off for 3 weeks, I was like, oh, wow, I couldn't. I kind of had Professor's face back at me, like, he's like, you can do this. And I'm like, I know. But that day, of course, work kicked my tush and got home and the house was a zoo and, like, all those things. And I got on the mat and I wasn't as mentally prepared because I was just like, oh, I finally get to be on the mat and be alone with myself again. And, and then, I didn't, I had the I can't in my brain, right?
Snuck
and
in
then
there.
I did it.
Snuck in there.
Right? It came back. And
Well, that's the thing that I was, want to tell about mentally is exactly like that. It's like, I can sit meditating and look to the wall and like pretend that my head's not thinking anything. That's the way I am. I am 100% in everything that I do. And all day long when I wake up, I'm already like full speed and everything and just going. So for me, being there is a meditating. It's meditating because if I'm rolling, with Natalie, like or anyone, but is kind of not thinking anything.
You're 100%
Yeah.
in the
You know,
moment.
like I don't.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try to don't be choked, or I'm gonna
Yeah.
try to learn that. If she does that, I'm gonna try to defend myself. So I'm not thinking anything. And while I'm doing something. But I'm not thinking. My mind is not thinking what I need to do after, what I'm gonna pay, what I have to pay, what laundry I have on the house. So I think that mental is amazing. This part is just like very thing. And then one more thing to complement, and I think also to achieve.
Yes.
The benefits also. There's other activities that complement very well jiu-jitsu, like yoga, mobility
Yeah,
training,
yoga.
strength.
Yes.
I think
For sure,
those
mobility.
those are also benefit the jiu-jitsu, and I think it's very good for your body. And then when you do jiu-jitsu, and I don't know, jiu-jitsu is about investing in your health, mentally and physically. That's the way I think.
You don't need a therapist anymore.
No, that's definitely one of
Well, we have us. We have us.
It's a form of therapy.
This is our therapy.
We are also.
Yes,
For sure.
For sure.
100%.
How about you, okay?
Well, I also have a long list, but I'm not going to list it all. But I have done so many different sports, and nothing has ever brought me the positive physical outlet that I feel with jiu-jitsu. And I work in I have a very stressful job where it's a lot. It can be a lot. It's a lot of mental focus. It's a lot of stress, a lot of deadlines, just like anybody else in life. But coupled with everyday life, it was always very hard. And I was actually the person who had an issue with going out in public and not being an aggressor for a very long time. I mean, I used to go out, and I used to, and I'm younger. I used to drink. And I still have a small child and stuff like that. But I used to have, like a huge friends group, and I don't anymore. But when I started jiu-jitsu, I was definitely at more of like it was either like a turning point in my life or a rock bottom in my life. It was something. And I felt like I had lost any kind of fight in me to really continue with just dealing with so many stressors, especially from such a young age in my life, because I felt like I was just continuously dealing with it and dealing with it and dealing with it. And then finally, I was just like breaking down. I think my mind broke down, my body was breaking down, my relationships were breaking down, everything was. So I had to really do something that I had never really done before or tried before. And this popped up around that time, jiu-jitsu. And I can honestly say, physically, it's not just the physical benefits. It's not just the ability to wake up early every single morning, not want to drink alcohol anymore ever, because I know it's something bad that I'm putting in my body. And I do feel, like you said, not that I feel like an athlete now. Like I feel, I don't know, I just feel more fulfilled, and I feel like I am making the choice every day to be a better person, because that's a choice, I don't care what anybody says. I'm just bad. I'm just, that's bull. I'm sorry. Oops. We'll piece that out later, but I'm sorry, but but it is, we make our own choices. We all make our own choices, and we have the ability to control how we react to life and the stressors of life. And this has helped me with stress. It has helped me with my cognitive memory, which has also helped me even in my job. It has helped me be a better mother. It's helped me be a better friend. It's helped me be even better in my relationship. 100% better in my relationship. My communication skills are way better, especially being, I'm clinically ADD, and it's been a struggle for me throughout my life to really take in everything and let it sink, and not just pass the surface, because I feel like that's a lot of what life is. And people don't really get down to the deepness or like the nitty gritty of who we really are. And most of the time we're afraid to face who we really are because it's scary. And just like jiu-jitsu is scary, that's scary. And that has opened, I think, multiple pathways in my mind in a positive way, and also a way to allow me to accept myself. Because your mental is a huge thing. Your mental and your physical are always going to be intertwined. And in this sport, in this way of life, because I can't even continue to call it a sport, because it's done so many things for me as well. And that's a big thing. I am no longer an aggressor when I step out my door, or when I think of other people, or when I'm in a conversation, or I'm in a crowded room or a space, or, it's rarely at a party anymore, but that's fine. Just anywhere, even in my own home, I don't feel the need to constantly be on the defense with people, be in competition with others, to be what other people want me to be. I just want to be who I am, because it has allowed me to accept myself and love myself and just be better. And I don't know if it's going to be the same for everybody else in the world. I know physical contact isn't the same for everybody, and some people have some issues with that. But, you know, I can just continue to attest to it and say that it is such a positive force in my life. And as long as my body is able, as long as my mind is able, I'm going to continue doing it no matter what it takes and what it costs, honestly.
Yep.
So, yeah.
I think I'd like to poll our families and see how much they appreciate us getting on the mats, because I know there are days that my husband sees me run in to get my gi on and grab the kids and go, and then he comes to get the kids so I can go to my class, and then I come home and I'm a totally different person.
Definitely a relationship.
Totally different.
Totally zen. It's like,
And I know he's probably like, thank God.
Yeah.
nobody's gonna come in the door and like yell about the dishes or like,
Exactly.
oh, why is this thing on the counter today?
That's
and
me.
are you really angry about that right now? Oh, that's me. Sometimes it's still me, but
Yeah.
I didn't before think that was a problem.
Right.
I didn't
Oh,
ever have self-reflection to think. I shouldn't be taking my crap out on my family when
Yeah.
I get home.
And now
why?
I'm like,
Because
is that
of
a big
dish?
deal, really? Like, does that really
The
matter?
grand scheme.
Because I'm sore and I just got choked, so I don't really care.
I'm like, dang, man, my finger's feeling a little funky. I'm gonna have to probably. That's what I'm thinking about. I'm not.
What do we need to heal?
Yeah.
Feel better.
Do we have Epsom salts?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I know we joked about it, and I mean, definitely if you need to go to therapy, go to therapy. It's really good for you. But it is a form of therapy. And so, like, and I think that's what you're kind of saying right now. Mentally, like, even just the other day, I had a really bad day, and we keep it in our bodies, right? And so what we're used to doing, at least I know me, I know AK, because we've talked about this, like, so you numb it out with drinks, you numb it, you know, whatever you do, you know, you numb it out, and then you don't resolve it. But somehow I had a bad day, I sat through class, and then what I did was I went and I rolled really freaking hard with one of the guys I trust the most, you know? And it was great because, you know what, it's what I needed, and I didn't numb it. My body was able to like let go.
Release it.
Yes. So I let go of all those feelings of emotions.
Yeah.
And then it was like my mind was clear to sort through what I was upset about.
Exactly.
And what was okay and what wasn't okay and how I could better express that. So I went home and I was able to talk to my husband in a better manner. So my communication was better. So it physically and mentally, again.
Yeah,
like,
that's a big deal. You are so right on the money with that.
Incredible.
Yeah.
100%.
It's like a little evolution in like hours.
It's huge.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like,
Went
wow.
from psycho hose beast to like a normal person that might have an issue.
Like, used to talk.
Yeah.
So it's,
And by the way, can you imagine? I don't like, we're talking about like neither one of us will probably ever, God, by the grace of God, ever have a drink again. Can you imagine having a drink or 2 or 5 and going to roll? I would throw up.
No.
I actually know someone that did that a couple of times, and they're like, "Oh, we had a margarita at lunch, and then we came to the class 12 o'clock," and I was like, "Ugh." Like, what?
I'm like, no, get
No.
that bad crap out of my body now. I'm like, I can't.
Yeah, we have enough bad stuff
can't.
going on here.
I don't need to add to
maybe
anything.
We can't. No, you have to sort through everything. You know. Another benefit that I was thinking about when I was thinking about all these like benefits that come from jiu-jitsu was, as adults, we don't get a lot of rewards, right? Like that are visible. You know, like the kids see their stripes, their belts, like, and as adults, we have work. And even if you work really hard, maybe you get promoted, maybe you don't, maybe everybody gets promoted at the same, you know what I mean? Like you get raises, not whatever it is.
Yeah.
But you might put in a lot of work and you might not see like a clear path, you know? But I feel like in jiu-jitsu, you put in the time, you put in the consistency, you put in the work, and you're going to get that stripe. You're going to get that belt. You're going to get there. And so it's nice to have something in our adult lives where we actually like get a reward. We don't even get rewards when we go to the dentist anymore. You know, like you don't get a lollipop.
Even
So
for
it's
me,
nice.
like when Professor recently was like, Amanda, your jiu-jitsu's training and everything that you're doing is really changing and it's evolving. And I'm really impressed. I was like, I just won the lottery.
Yeah.
It feels great.
Amazing.
It does.
It was like, that was a really good, I needed that badly. Like,
You don't get that anywhere
no,
else. You don't,
no.
because no one's going to pat you on the back and say, like, you did a really good job at work today. Most of the time. I mean, maybe you're lucky you have a good mentor and whatnot, but, you know, most day-to-day, everyone's struggling.
all
living through life.
husbands should praise their wives, by the way.
Yes. 100%.
Mine does.
Definitely, yeah. So it's
100%.
nice to get rewards, and I think that
is.
jiu-jitsu gives that.
Yeah.
Which is super special.
And sometimes you're the only one that knows what that reward is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Or the
Win-win.
people that you roll with.
Yeah.
Start and begin to know that. Like it's crazy how in sync you become with
Yeah.
another person. And I mean,
They
like,
know.
very in sync.
Yeah, you know when someone's having a bad day, when
Yeah.
someone's having a good day.
Yeah.
You can feel it, you know, and it's nice.
It's nice to be that person. Even like you're saying, like roll to get it out. I mean,
Yeah.
I know I've been like, man, I had a really bad day. I might, you're
Choke
like,
me.
you want to choke me out later? You want to take it out on me later? And I'm like, yes, thank you so much. And then we do.
And it's
it's
awesome.
like,
That
you know,
was
it's
a
a
real
battle.
conversation I heard between you two one time. I
Oh
just know
yeah.
it.
After we would look at it, I was like, thank you so much. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
yeah.
you for choking me 5 times.
Maybe we are
I
a
love
little
being in our triangles. It's my favorite.
It is a good place. It is a good place.
Okay, I think that's it for today.
Yeah.
Before we go, I'll leave you with one of Elios Gray's Jiu-Jitsu quote. Jiu-Jitsu is like a philosophy. It helps me learn how to face life.
Yep.
Love it.
100%.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I like that one. That's a keeper.
Yep.
So look us up on YouTube and Instagram, Gi Squad Podcast. And yeah, we'll see you next episode.
See you next time.
Bye.
Bye.